Hello everyone, welcome back to my versus video.
Why do you guys keep saying welcome back?
Because they just watched yours.
But they didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they did. They clicked the one video, then they clicked the other video.
Oh.
We sent them back.
I would actually just start with like, hey everyone, thanks for not leaving.
Well, if they left,
they wouldn't even see this.
yeah.
Conundrum.
Sphinx was a terrible Magic card from Magic 2012 core set. This is not a terrible Magic deck from the Magic 2012 core set.
I like where you went there because you left me no space to argue.
Correct. That was the point. So let's go ahead and transition into the deck. So let's start things off with Elvish Mystic. It's a card that taps for green mana.
Maybe not in this match.
Yeah, maybe not in this match. Let's start with things that get revokered. Sorin, Elvish Mystic, and Sylvan Caryatid. All right, and Fleecemane Lion. That's true. You can keep me from going monstrous. Cannot revoke or Windswept Heath.
Cannot. No,
that's
not land.
That's value right there.
It is.
You can't take that value to the bank. So, basically, this deck is as many 4-ofs as I could possibly fit in, and
not true. You could have played one of these over here.
Yeah, that's true. I could have played like 4
charms.
Oh,
wait, no, sorry. There's 4 downfall. Never mind.
Yeah, I could have played 4 charms or 4 banishing lights and had all 4-ofs.
Yep.
But really, I wanted to just build a deck that was like kind of a brute force Abzan deck, where I don't know exactly which of these cards are going to be the best, but if we just play 4 of everything, we get to see like basically like how everything performs. So. This deck is basically, I found in this format you want to be proactive. Has been really important. So I wanted the most like brute forcey proactive version I could build. So that's where the Fleecemane Lions come in. Where previously that might be like Elspeth or something big. I just wanted to get aggressive early in the game with like lions and rhinos, which actually end the game very quickly. And then we have Wingmate Rock as our top end to go big after we've attacked them with like one of these creatures that's hard to block. So one thing I really like you can do with 5 mana is you attack with their lion. They don't want to block because you can just monstrous.
Yeah. So
you just get a free attack in, and then you can play Rock second main phase. You don't even have to monstrous. And then Sorin goes really well with the deck because we have all these big creatures, and it gains us a lot of life. And it also serves as a really good threat by itself too when you play it like really early in the game on turn 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, any deck that's like trying to play removal and stuff like that, like it's just another good planeswalker.
Yeah, so they can kill your Courser and your Lion, but then you play Sorin and now they're out of removal or whatever.
And now it's like
just going to take over the game.
It's this weird tension that they don't want to go and play their proactive spell because then you can attack with the Vampire and then trigger your Wingmate Rock and then like it's just snowballs from there. So it's a really tough spot when you go turn 3 Sorin and make a guy against a control style deck.
Yeah, and snowballing is like a very good point because that's kind of what this deck likes to do is snowball. So if you kind of curve out into like a Rhino, I found that if I play turn 3 Siege Rhino, I usually win the game.
Yeah, it's tough to come back, right? Because like they're lower in life, you're higher in life. Then your cards start bouncing off each other, but you have the one thing ahead.
Yeah, I'm like one step ahead, and now I can turn that Siege Rhino into a Wingmate Rock, and then I can like turn that Wingmate Rock with like a Sorin or like some removal spells to keep pushing the advantage. So this deck's all about snowballing out of control. One issue that I found with it is it can be a little slow on the draw, or if you don't have the early acceleration, because our curve is like fairly, I wouldn't say top heavy, but like medium heavy.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of 3s and things like that. As for the removal spells, I started out with just 4 downfalls, but I realized I really wanted more. And I've really liked Abzan Charm a lot. Putting counters on Siege Rhino is really good because he has Trample. And exiling creatures obviously strong. And then being able to Sign in Blood is just a great way to dig yourself out, especially like later in the game. Yeah, you're right. Night's Whisper. Can't target your opponent.
You cannot.
Which, as Brad knows, has happened a number of times. I've signed you for lethal before in the past.
That is true.
One of my best memories ever.
I don't believe that at all.
That wasn't true. Yeah, there was one truth and one lie, so you had to guess which one was which. But yeah, being able to draw 2 cards is really good, especially with Courser a lot of times. Late in the game, you can really filter through your deck a lot. And then Banishing Light's just a great all-around removal spell. But I think this deck's like a pretty solid deck. I won't say it's the best thing, but it's just a very good, proactive, aggressive deck.
and it's going to be great that now you're going to be able to showcase it against one of the normal decks you're going to see people play this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to be showcasing. I mean, in Soul Artifact's pretty much what everyone's talking about.
Yeah,
it's what everyone's expecting to see. So I get to jam this deck against the mono black of the format.
Exactly.
But let's look at the sideboard before we do that. All right, so we are back with this beautiful sideboard. It is a collection of the greatest Abzan cards available to us.
I agree with that.
You actually agree with that? Wow, that's actually
these
pretty...
these are all the cards that I think that should be in sideboards of this nature. Like,
okay.
I've liked having 2 Reclamation Sages. The only thing that I would do differently is I would, if like these cards are mainly for red decks,
yeah,
I would not do anything but start 4 Drowned Stars on the board.
Okay.
I think that Rabble Master is the best card in the format.
I agree with that.
And just that it's like it's gonna become the deck. It's gonna become like the Desecration Demon, where like every deck has like 7 answers for it, and it's still good.
Yeah.
And that's what Goblin Rabble Master is. So like I won't play a deck that can cast Drowned Star without 4 of them.
Okay.
I think that's a good place to be right away.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I was very surprised that you agreed with my sideboard. Usually you're like,
no,
usually it's 15 haphazard cards, and you're like, wow, this is a
well. Let's be honest, you've had some pretty ridiculous sideboards.
That's
too.
true. That's true. Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about why these are in here. Like these are for the aggressive decks, as we mentioned. Suspension Field is just a great answer to like other decks of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
Gets like Courser, Pelucranos, things like that. I think there's going to be a lot of artifacts and enchantments for Reclamation Stage, like in Soul Artifact. Everyone's going to be on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to have those Reclamation Stages. Thoughtseize is just for kind of the control mid-rangey decks to kind of strip their hand. Maybe you don't want like all your mana accelerants in some of those matchups if the games are going to go really long. And then Elspeth's kind of the same thing. Just a top-end spell for some of the mid-rangey matchups, but I didn't want it in the main deck because against a lot of the aggressive decks it's too slow, and against a lot of decks I felt like tempo was extremely important in this format, and Elspeth was, even though it's a very powerful card, it was still coming down too late, and I was too far behind to catch up with it. And I wanted to just have things I could cast as early as possible.
Yeah, and you have a lot of good answers to Elspeth, right? Like they have to like tick down against your rhinos, or you can just like trample over, and your rocks don't get beat up by it.
I have a lot of flyers,
Thorn tokens, and
yeah. So, but yeah, that's the sideboard for this deck. I actually really enjoy this deck a lot. I know I wrote an article saying that I was switching over to the Mardu clan, but old habits die hard, so hopefully I can defeat Brad Nelson extremely badly in this video.
Well, I know the time travel thing, but if I ended up playing this deck last weekend, it's because I destroyed him in this versus video.
Ooh.
No spoilers, but we'll see.
All right, let's jump in the time machine.
It's not a train.
Really?
I went with a train.
I went like in a portal.
I know, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go to Costco. I heard they got a time machine.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah, we're done.